Welcome, citizen. I'm your host, Venerati, and we're going to be continuing the Zotac Cup number 30 3-0 coverage. Now, this is the final best of 5 for this tournament, and it is in between GoOdy and Lalush. Now, last time, if you did not join us for the last game, and if you did, you're just going to get a little bit of recap. We saw them go at it on Blistering Sands. Lalush was able to overcome GoOdy, even though GoOdy did a very aggressive bunker push. He went out there with 4 Marines, 4 SCVs, went on the front doorstep of Lalush, and ended up throwing down 2 bunkers. But I feel that that was the wrong tactic to use on that map, seeing as there's the back door in Blistering Sands on your main. So that's exactly what we saw happen, was Lalush breaking down the rocks with his roaches, circumventing GoOdy's static defenses, and then taking on GoOdy's main base. And GoOdy, unfortunately, had his forces split, didn't really act quickly with those Marines, and didn't recuperate the bunkers, so they just kind of sat there for a long time, not really doing anything. Once he put the bunkers down, he didn't apply any sort of further pressure. And I don't know, the whole point, I feel a lot of that point of that strategy is to actually make your opponent feel off-footed, because you're denying that hatchery, you're denying them that macro, and really just upsetting them, because they probably have a plan of what they want to do because of the map. And a lot of times it is to take that hatcheries in that nice, cozy, natural. But either way, that is indeed in the past, and right now we are on Steps of War, and we have Lalush grabbing a 14 pool and going up against GoOdy's build of a Barracks and Tech Lab. So the Tech Lab will be coming in here, sealing it off. This drone will not be able to evacuate, and it looks like he is going to be going down here. And once that Tech Lab finishes up there, we will see a Marine come out. Or no. We're actually going to see a Reaper come out. So we're going to see some Reaper shenanigans coming from GoOdy. GoOdy looking to apply early pressure once again, like he did back on Blistering Sands. So let's see if GoOdy can actually make it work this time. This map, though, there's only this tiny area for the Reaper to access it, especially going up against the Zerg this early on. They will be able to hop right here, run in here, and pillage and rape. But Lalush has the spawning pool down, so he can field Zergs, he can field spine crawlers, and he will have time to react to the threat of the Reaper before the Reaper flock is going to hit critical mass. And it does look like actually Lalush stole this this extractor right here. Or no, he stole the Vespine geyser right there, and this SCV is not happy about that, so he's going to be drilling and welding. You can't weld flesh. I don't know what you'd call it. He's going to be zapping. It's going to be tasing him. Oh, one way or another, though, we have GoOdy dropping a bunker on the front door as well. Now, this placement of this bunker, I don't know about this. I feel that it should be up here, seeing as you could sneak that in there and get it in range for that Reaper to throw that grenade, because that grenade is brutal, as it would actually have a range of 6 once it's inside of the bunker. So we do actually have this Reaper taking on that Roach, but of course, retreating back into the bunker, that Roach definitely would have pwned that Reaper's face. So GoOdy, once again, trying to do contain here. Not so sure about this, though. He doesn't even have it sealed completely shut. But, hey, you know what? We saw Select do it against Idra, and Idra definitely QQ raged out of that one a little too early, I think. But we do actually see that Reaper being split into pieces via that Acid Spit attack. Now GoOdy running up there with only 1 Marauder, going to be retreating back. Actually, no, he has a buddy showing back up, but oh, look, there's 3 more Roaches coming up here. So GoOdy wisely retreating into his bunker, but we do actually have the Roaches running, just absolutely ignoring those bunkers and running past. So it looks like Lalush once again just kind of, screw your contain, and we'll be walking past that and we'll be knocking on the front door of GoOdy. Meanwhile, GoOdy has not actually claimed this Vespine geyser and doesn't really have much in the way of production facilities other than this 1 barracks. So GoOdy kind of choking himself here, as the 1 hatchery will be more than able to outproduce that barracks. But GoOdy could do a good job if he could get some more forces up here. He could really do a lot of damage to Lalush's economy and just really deny him this hatchery that he really needs. So right now we do have the forces of Lalush. These flanking Roaches will be coming in, and we even have a drone for emotional support. And they are going to be focus firing this 1 barracks down. However, we have them rallied over to the next barracks. And yes, they will be transferring directly over into the next barracks, the next bunker. This is not a barracks. But it will not be enough, as these 2 Marauders will not be able to take on all of these Roaches, as these 2 Marauders will be able to finish off that other roach, but they will be fleeing for their life like a bunch of little wimps. And we see one more shot going off on this really, really wounded Marauder. This guy is not too happy. 20 out of 125. We do not have Glial Reconstitution up for the roaches, so the roaches will not be able to actually chase these down. However, there are no medevacs on the field. In fact, we do see a factory, so we do see a little bit of tech coming from GoOdy. We have one more production facility down here, but GoOdy really needs to either get some racks or he needs to get something going, because if he's not careful, Lalush is going to be occupying this natural, and he's just going to run away with this game if he sits like he did last time. Either way, we have the layer tech finishing up here. Well, no, it actually just started. Whoops, I need to look at it a little bit better. But we do have a nice saturation of the minerals here. Lush will be more than, let's see, yeah. He is actually 9 ahead harvester count-wise, so right now, Lush sitting pretty economy-wise, able to defend against and defeat that contain. So now he is basically just a free-range chicken doing whatever he wants to do. Of course, these two overlords are just kind of taking a peek around, and this Marine saying, hell no, get out of my airspace. Though that is really, really close. So either way, we have Lush's forces lording around here. We're kind of seeing a lull in the battle as both characters really not able to make anything decisive happen there, so they're going to be balling up once again. Let's take a look at the productions tab, and we see Metabolic Boost just finishing up there. We see STEM coming into, will be coming into play here relatively soon, as it is halfway done, and we actually see a Spire coming down here off in the corner. Nice placement, nice use of the Overlord sitting here, so if we do actually see a scan coming from GoOdy, GoOdy will not actually be able to see that there, and we'll be like, well, no Mutalisk, okay, I don't have to get any Thors, or whatever the hell it is that he actually was thinking about getting. Either way, we have the, I think I'm in an either kind of mood. Either way this, either way that, either way the forces of GoOdy are moving into the main base of Lalush. Lalush right now a little bit outgunned, but we'll actually have a lot of Zerglings in here. We'll be trying to get a surround here. Those SCVs doing a little bit of a meat shield there, but these roaches are putting a lot of fire into these Marauders. The Marauders are not going to be enough to really defend against this, but meanwhile we have the Hellions coming here trying to zap some of these, burn some of these drones to a crisp, only actually getting a few of them. So Lalush once again fending off that attack. Wow, I'm just talking all over myself. Waiting for this tea to kick in here. But right now, what do we have coming in here for GoOdy? GoOdy's getting a second barrack. No, yes, getting a second barracks and one bunker in here. So going to be leaning a little bit more on the rack units. GoOdy not really doesn't have that much in the way of production. He only has 3 production facilities right now, and we are 11 minutes into the game. Meanwhile, though, we have the roaches knocking on the front door, going to be sniping the supply depot. Will not be actually supply locking GoOdy, but opening the door. GoOdy in response will be throwing up a bunker here, and this tech lab does look like it will be going down. So right now Lalush doing a good job of punishing the Terran for putting these buildings on the edge of his base, because this is the problem that you see with actually walling off like this, is those weak buildings get picked off quite easily, even against roaches. I mean, roaches only have the 4 range, and they're able to snipe it. So if you had Hydralisk in here, or even if you did like a Spine Crawler contained or something of that nature, it's really hard to keep those buildings on the front nice and comfortable. Meanwhile, we do have the Mutals coming into the main of Lalush. Lalush only having a few Marines around and one Viking. This one Viking will not be enough. It is trying to run for its life, but the Mutals will be too much for it. They are way too fast for that Viking. We do have the roaches, meanwhile, applying pressure on the front door. These Hellions trying to do something, but the Hellions, of course, not very effective against these roaches here. That one Marine totally getting owned, even though that medevac was trying to save it. More Marines coming out of the barracks. Look at all these Marines queued up for GoOdy. GoOdy really wanted to get these Marines out. Meanwhile, his mineral line is absolutely being pillaged here. 4 kills, 2 kills, 3 kills. I mean, these Mutals are really racking up the economic damage here, as we have another Viking on the field. More Marines in here. Medevac trying to heal them. These Mutals taking a lot of damage, will be retreating. The Mutals are very, very expensive, especially when you consider that 4 Marines will be more than happy to dispatch a Mutalisk, and the simple fact is that the Marines are so much cheaper, and until you get a real nice critical mass flock of Mutalisks, you don't want to engage like that. You don't want them to be picked off one by one, because they, like I said before, are just so expensive. And you want to use them in a mobile way, because my chief the thing that really makes me like Mutalisks the most is the fact they're super mobile. You can, any sort of static defense you can circumvent, you can go around it, go find a hole. But meanwhile, it does look like Lalush is going to be finding another hole into the mineral line here. In fact, this mineral line is way open and just inviting for these Mutalisk glaive worms to coming in here and doing a nice little tap dance all over these SCVs. So the Vikings here, having the range of 9, will be sniping these Mutalisks. These Mutalisks running for their lives. The Mutalisks will be able to escape, though they did lose one of their brethren. It does look like we are going to see a swap here for the starport and the factory. Looks like we are going to be seeing more Vikings and more medevacs. Meanwhile, Lalush is going to be sitting outside of the base, not allowing any sort of expansion to be going on here. And as a Terran player, though it is very easy to turtle up this late in the game, 15 minutes, you don't have an expansion, this is not a place you want to be, and you really want to break out, you want to make something happen, and you want to claim this natural right here. Because Lalush right now has his high yield coming on here. Actually, I would say that this is GoOdy's high yield, but Lalush getting his high yield is not populated right now, but his natural is more than populated, and it does look like Lalush is going to be digging in here, going to be getting a baneling's nest so that he can knock down the front door with much ease. Let's just put it that way. As we did also see a lot of Marines being put on the table, and the Marines do just melt underneath the nice acidy back massage heat rub thing of the baneling. So Lalush in a really good position here. The longer he waits and kind of just sits around and harasses, the better he will be. GoOdy, though, knowing the situation that he's in, will be evacuating his mineral lines, and it looks like he's going to be using a SCV charge here. So GoOdy, in a desperate gambit here to try to make something happen, will be attacking the front of the Lalush's forces. The Spine Crows not happy about this, will be moving in there, but there are banelings on the field. These banelings are going to be doing so much damage, and we actually see another advertisement there, and we do see a lot of these Marines falling to those banelings. More SCVs showing up here, but GoOdy, knowing that the game was over and out of his capacity to win, will be tapping out. So GoOdy now is down 2-0 to Lalush. Lalush doing a good job of, being able to sustain himself underneath those contains, just walking by the contains or circumventing them, and just going like, huh, you trying to contain me? Blam! Die! And GoOdy has done so twice now. So GoOdy is going to have to make some magic happen, as if Lalush does win the next one, it will be game over for GoOdy, and Lalush will take the Zotac Cup. So guys, thank you so much for joining me today. Definitely kind of weird mood kind of cast, but hey, I like it, and I hope you like it. And if you like it, you can thumbs it up. If you don't, you be like, get off the air, and thumbs it down. But, as always, citizens, thank you for joining me, and stay safe.